once you get to like the tippy tops, on your $10 millionth dollar, sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%. As you climb up this ladder, you should be contributing more.
Well, that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a congresswoman floating a massive tax hike on the rich to fund what she calls a Green New Deal related to climate change, claiming now that wealthy Americans should be contributing more. But according to a Bloomberg analysis of 2016 tax returns, the top 1% of taxpayers already pay a greater share of income taxes, 37.3%, than the bottom 90% combined. So here to help us break down the numbers, Director of Strategic Initiatives at Americans for Tax Reform, Paul Blair. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So just give me your general reaction before we dig deep on the numbers, because I see that the Congresswoman has been tweeting a lot in the last 12 hours, going after the House Republican whip, for example, Steve Scalise, and saying, you don't understand economics.
Look, I think the Congresswoman has killer instincts when it comes to her dance moves, but her fundamental understanding of economics and tax policy is subpar. Here's the reality. As you've pointed out, the top 1% already pay 37% of all federal income taxes. Break that down even further, the top 3% are paying over half of all federal income taxes as a share of all paid in 2016, which is the most recent data that we have. So her suggestion that only the tippy top should pay a little bit more because they're not paying their fair share just ignores the data on how much they are already paying as a percentage of the total share of taxes paid by U.S. taxpayers.
She and others never quite explain what fair share really means, how they define that. And to your point, when you look at the actual facts, the actual numbers, the rich are paying an awful lot already. Average total tax rate for the top 1%, 33.6%. Top 10% of taxpayers, top 10%, paid 69% of total individual income taxes in 2016. And finally, top 50% of taxpayers paid, yes, 97% of total individual income taxes in 2016. So, Paul, quite simply, what more can the rich give?
Well, her proposal would double it, double the top rate paid by those high earners. She suggests that it would kick in at above $10 million. But there's not a lot of money left. I mean, to my point that she doesn't necessarily understand economics, high earners have the ability to adjust how they are paid. It's not necessarily salaried income that they're making. They make this money in terms of dividends or investments that they make. And so you raise these taxes and people shift their investments to avoid higher taxes. And so what she would likely experience is no money to pay for a Green New Deal or infrastructure or any of the sort of left's favorite priorities for spending projects. There's not a lot more that they can get simply because people adjust their investments.
Yeah, we've got 30 seconds, though, to take her side on this for a second. She points out that there are a lot of the rich, like Warren Buffett, who say they don't really pay the 33% that we mentioned earlier. They have all kinds of ways to hide their income, move money overseas, as you say. So what can we do to actually get people to pay that 33% that are rich when, in fact, Warren Buffett and others say they pay 15 or 20%?
Well, I think the biggest thing we do is speed up the economic recovery. If businesses make more investments, we'll get more tax revenue from the businesses that they invest in and the employees that they hire. So that's probably the best way to get more money out of rich folks.
All right, Paul Blair, we appreciate your insight this morning.
Thank you.